Wentz throws coming near side, and it's going to be out of bounds to Logan Thomas, who's got his first catch. Realistically, need 23 yards or so. One timeout left, can go anywhere. Wentz decides to go for it all, going deep, and intercepted Trayvon Diggs. Guess who?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest edition of Jonesin' for Wins. I'm your host, Craig Havens, and with me, as always, is Jonathan Almanzar. Today, we're going to talk about the Week 4 matchup against the Washington Commanders. We're going to talk about the 25-10 win in this past weekend, and we'll discuss what went well and where we believe we can improve. I'm certain we'll get into the big Cooper Rush debate again. We'll talk about the divisions, who's in our top 3 power rankings, and which team we think is falling. Before it's all over, we'll award one player with the Glory Hole Award. That is the player, of course, that sucked the most this week. Jonathan, why don't you start out by telling me your feelings about this win?
Man, just another notch on the road to the Super Bowl. It was nice that I wasn't worried. Actually, I was about to lie. I was a little worried when they kicked 2 field goals in a row, rush incompleted pass. I think I even sent you a text message saying that terrible throw right there, mark it down. That's going to change the complexion of the game. However, the Cowboys pushed through. You know who gets if we were giving game balls instead of glory holes, you know who would get the game ball?
I know, Trayvon Diggs.
You would give it to Tavon.
I would.
And I couldn't disagree with that. Like, he did an excellent job. I would actually give it to the little boy. He called such a perfect game. Like,
wow.
I can't believe how many times our wide receivers ended up matched up against linebackers. Twice.
That was crazy.
Linebackers trying to cover CeeDee Lamb. The touchdown to Michael Gallup, there was a linebacker covering him, and that all comes from the game plan that the little boy put together. And so I think I would give him the game ball. But overall, like, I was very encouraged and happy with that game, because that's the kind of game that we can sometimes lose. The one that is just right there to
the kind of game we often lose.
There's no reason they should be in the game. So that's my thoughts.
Cool. Well, once again, not a lot of attempts for Cooper Rush. Stats-wise, 15 of 27, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's a decent game, and it's a decent game.
And 3 interceptions.
Well, right.
Oh wait,
should have been.
2 were called back.
Right.
And 1 fell in between a guy's feet.
Skip Bayless seems to love Cooper Rush, and is I can't. But anyways, 15 to 27. Again, if Dak Prescott's in this game, are we throwing 15 to 27? I don't. I mean, it was last year. It was what did I say? November that we threw 27 times.
Yeah.
And I get it. And again, I like it. I like that they're doing this. And this is where I give the little boy credit, because he's doing that right. There has been question. Somebody said that, I was watching it someplace, that oh, look, we're playing in the back of you there. Somebody mentioned that head coach Mike McCarthy actually is helping do calls with the little boy.
Could be.
Is he really?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't really see him making calls on the sideline. I see him trying. Why does he wear so many clothes? Like, he looks. So Dan Reeves.
We're talking football. You always go to clothes. Go ahead.
Dan Reeves, who was the old Giants head coach, Coughlin. They all looked like they were freezing cold, even when it was 90 degrees outside. If it was a hot game, you looked at them and you thought, they're about to die of hypothermia. This dude's the opposite. He looks like he is burning up, like he's on fire. And I'm sitting there thinking, why? I don't know that he wore a sweatshirt and a stocking cap, but in my mind, he wore a sweatshirt and a stocking cap during that game. So I can't.
He came from Green Bay. It's cold there. Maybe that's the only clothing he is heavy.
He didn't come from Green Bay. He coached at Green Bay. Like, that's not where he's from.
Well, I know, but he was there for a while. I don't know where he's from originally, but
he looks like he's like he's burning up all the time. And so I don't know how he could call. I'm sure he's wiping the sweat out of his eyes instead of calling the game, or like taking off his little radio things. Do you think he's taking orders from McDonald's? Is that what he's doing with his headset on there? Because that's what I feel like he's doing, because he keeps going like this.
He might be. Yeah. Large fry. No.
Yeah.
Can you supersize that? That would be awesome. You know what? Make it 2. All right. Back to Cooper Rush. Tell me your thoughts on Cooper Rush, because I know
He's fine. He's okay. Like I was all for giving him the glory hole until he threw those 2 touchdowns, and then I couldn't. But he's not impressive to me at all. He's just
on your glory hole.
What's that?
You're already jumping on the glory hole. We're not there yet.
No,
that's at the end.
No, I know. I'm just saying like he's not even going to be in my discussion for it. So, but I think he's fine. He's fine. He's not exciting in any way. He should have, and I'm glad he doesn't, but he should have 8 interceptions right now, and we'd be having a completely different conversation if that were the case. And that could happen this coming week. Like, these are actual defensive players that we're going to be going up against that can actually catch the ball. So I'm a little worried about him in that state, but I think he's fine. How about you?
I like him. And you know, it's interesting because there was talk, Stephen Jones, I guess, was on the radio, and they were talking to him about, have you been receiving calls about trading Cooper Rush? Not Dak, but about trading.
No, I know.
And I guess Stephen kind of laughed, said no, and somehow the call became disconnected. I don't know if he was in bad zone or whatever, but they were talking about that. Cooper Rush is a good backup. And you know what? If you
No, he's not.
Huh?
No, he's not.
He's not a good backup?
He's serviceable. I mean, we've talked about this before, but he was out of the league, man.
I know. And he actually got picked up by the Giants, 2 years ago? Got picked up by the Giants and dumped.
When his dad was the coach, yeah.
So here we are. All
so
right,
real quick,
yeah.
Going back to Cooper Rush real quick. Could you believe the announcers kept saying, he's made himself a lot of money. He's made himself a lot of money.
An extra $50 a game next year.
Like he's going to be a starting quarterback somewhere. Like, what are they talking about? But you know what I'm most afraid of if he keeps winning like this? Not that he's going to be the starter and take Dak's spot, but he's going to be the next coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to follow Jason Garrett's path.
That happens to us. We've done that.
Yes.
So let's move on, because Cooper Rush, I think we've talked about enough. We talk about it, and he's already got more. We've given him more airtime than he's got in the air. See what I did?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I get it.
Zeke Pollard. We said that that Pollard is a better running back. We were really wrong. I mean, we were really wrong. So, how many yards did? All right, here's a question for you. What do you think Tony Pollard's longest rush was this weekend?
2 yards.
Huh?
2 yards.
Tony Pollard's longest rush was 9 yards.
Oh.
What do you think? He had 8 carries. How many total yards did Tony Pollard have?
6.
You looked that up.
No,
it was 6. So in 7 carries he lost 3 yards, and in 1 carry he gained 9.
Wow.
Zeke had 19 carries, 49 yards. Not great, and along a 7, not stellar, but no. I mean, they are a good run defense. Zeke, 2 receptions, 32 yards. Tony Pollard, 1 reception for 2 yards. Tony Pollard gave us 8 yards. He had 1 yard longer than his total yards from scrimmage.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like I've said all along, we need to be playing Zeke more.
Right. I have agreed with you. And if we were coaches, this would obviously be our pick. I mean,
so my brother was chastising me a little bit, saying, you keep talking about how Pollard's gaining more yards than Zeke, but
your brother needs to listen to this. Is he listening to this? Have you made him listen? Yes. Because he thinks Cooper Rush is better. You're wrong. Jordan, you're wrong. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So he brought up to me the fact, and chastised me rightly a little bit, that we are giving Pollard a lot of credit without talking about the blocking and the pass protection that they offer.
Yes.
And that is absolutely true. Like, Zeke is a much better pass protector than Tony Pollard is. But you know who's a better pass protector than Zeke? Connor McGovern. Why don't they just put in if they're just going to pass and not do a play action fake, just put in an offensive lineman.
That's not actually. Connor McGovern would be great back there, and just have him there. Except it would make it a little bit easier to call what we're going to do.
So like it doesn't. At that
point,
it
back
doesn't
there
really
and
matter.
swing out Zeke for a swing pass or a screen. No. But all right, enough about them. We're moving on. We're moving on quick today. We're getting through things. Receiving. How'd you feel we did?
Good.
We did.
Yeah.
Actually.
I mean, there was that pass to Noah Brown that should have been closer to Noah Brown.
Yeah.
It was a terrible. That was the one that I texted you about.
Yep.
But I think the receivers did great. I think CeeDee Lamb did a good job. I mean, it's easy when you're getting matched up against linebackers to get wide open, and that's what we did.
But you can't pick who you're going to be teamed up against.
No. So, I think they did a great job.
Michael Gallup, 2 receptions, 24 yards. He only had 3 targets, which I think was planned. Again,
that's fine. Yeah.
I'm hoping this is all by design. I'm giving the coaches credit. I don't often give them credit. So 2 receptions, 24 yards, 1 touchdown. It was good to see him back. I think he looked good. I don't think he looked.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked good. He didn't look worn down, but again, he wasn't. I don't know how many plays he was in for. Noah had 3 receptions, 61 yards, 6 targets, and CeeDee Lamb. I mean, I can't complain. 6 receptions, 97 yards, 8 targets, 1 touchdown. So he's improved. So I'm happy. I'm happy all around. I don't know who I got to. I do know who I have to complain about, but we'll get to that.
Tight ends? Where were our tight ends?
We had 1 reception by the one that broke into his girlfriend's by last year. Corey Hall. I don't even think it was him. I don't remember.
No, I think it was Jake Ferguson or something like that. Was who caught it?
Yeah, it might have been it. The Dalton Schultz had 3 targets, 0 receptions. I don't know. I don't remember which ones they were. I do remember 1, but whatever. We good on offense?
No, I have something else I want to.
Oh, go ahead.
I want to talk about the line a little bit. Like I've seen defensive lines when you sub them out, your linemen in and out, in and out, in and out. It drives me crazy sometimes, but I get it. But have you ever seen them rotate series with offensive linemen before?
It's insane what we're doing. I don't know, but it's every time you turn around, it's a new everybody.
Yeah, I thought, I mean, maybe the Cowboys have cracked the code on something that no one else ever has in 110 years of football. But they always say that offensive linemen have to gel. You know, they have to get used to one another. But we're sitting there switching them around, not because of injury, just because, we'll let him go in for this series. We'll let him go in for this series. And it's just like
Peters, subbing McGovern, subbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I really don't, because it seems like clearly somebody's better. I mean, you don't sub in quarterbacks.
But even if they're not better and they're the exact same, you still don't sub them in because they're building a team. It's a team there. Right. It's not individual players.
You work off each other.
What's that?
You're one line. You're working with each other. You're working off each other. You know what the other one's going to do. Yeah, I don't know. It was crazy. We seemed to sub a lot this game.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So
maybe they watched the Buffalo-Miami game and they're like, we can't. Which brings up a question to me. Why does one team get more? I get it when it's Buffalo playing against Miami, but why does it seem like they're always saying when Buffalo's offense was so tired, well, wasn't Miami's defense tired too? You know, like I never get that when like it's one side of the ball is tired, but that means the other side of the ball is tired too. But anyway.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know.
All right.
Defense, 2 sacks.
Yeah.
Gallimore and Fowler.
Yeah.
6 tackles for losses, 11 quarterback hits, 2 interceptions. 1 by the rookie Bland.
Yeah.
I thought they looked really good. I actually think this is becoming one of the better defenses in the NFL. Am I wrong?
Me too. I totally agree. Didn't it feel like more than 2 sacks?
It really did. It felt like, well, there was 11 quarterback hits. There was a lot of pressure. And then there's those. I hate it. I think a team should get credit for a sack when there is a intentional grounding.
What about when there's 2 intentional groundings?
Well, I think they should get 2.
Because he got called for it twice.
No,
I've never seen a quarterback get called twice in one game.
But it drives you nuts because it should be a sack. And I mean, in my case with fantasy football, that hurt.
Yeah.
I might actually sue the league for that because
you should, or ESPN. I think the defense did really well. Like I was happy with the defense. I wasn't happy that it felt like we kept getting caught with having both Micah Parsons and Marcus Lawrence off the field at the same time.
Right.
And then they would run like six successful plays in a row, and then they'd come in, and then something terrible would happen to Washington. I didn't get that.
It seemed like we subbed them out away from each other. But there was also a different time, wasn't it, this game where we saw both of them inside?
Yeah, they both played
Back
over the
in his
tackle.
day?
Yeah, yeah. And Fowler, I think Fowler's a great addition, but he seemed like he was out a lot during the game.
Yeah, well, again, it seemed like they were kind of moving people around a lot this game. Maybe I'm just
So,
reading more into it this year. Maybe I actually have notebooks with me now when I watch, and I usually,
yeah.
you know,
So
maybe
you know who
not.
my favorite defensive player is right now?
Your favorite defensive player right now is not Micah Parsons. It's always been Micah Parsons.
No, I mean Mike is because he's Micah Parsons, but like the guy that I'm most proud of, I
Like
feel like his dad.
your other baby.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't. It's not Gallimore. Hold on. No, I'm gonna have you give it to me because.
Wilson,
Oh yes, you do like Donovan Wilson. Yes, you do.
man, I like that guy.
Come on.
He's such a hitter, and he's everywhere. He's flying all over the field. Like, yeah, I like that guy.
And you know what? He was more consistent this game.
Yeah,
He was. So I can't complain about him. I honestly I'm a big Diggs fan, as you know, but there we go.
yeah.
All right, so I wanted to take a look at our conference.
Okay.
So I wanted to let's take a broader look. Let's look at what conference do you think right now is the strongest conference in the NFL?
NFC East.
On paper, it is,
I know.
but I can't believe it. I think
Why?
I'm really having a hard time believing it.
So you know who Washington beat? The only win Washington has? Jacksonville. That's the only win Washington has. They beat Jacksonville, who's a good team,
And
who was in my top 3 last week.
I know, and so did Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I
No,
I look at it,
fantasy.
driving me nuts. I'm at a lot. I'm confused. And then I break down our division, and I look, and who has, of all of the teams in our division, who has the least amount of points in their favor? Points for.
What do you mean?
Who scored the least amount of points in our division?
Oh, it's either us or Washington, I think.
It's us.
Yeah.
71.
Yeah.
71. Washington has 73. New York Giants have 76. And the Eagles have 115.
Okay.
But points against, we have the lowest, 62. Philadelphia and New York have 71, and Washington has 107. Here is my trivia question of the day. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to figure it out, but which team in the NFL has scored the most points this year?
So I
I'm going to guess.
just
You're going to be wrong.
boom, I would jump on either Kansas City or Miami, but I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions.
Oh, I hate you. That was a good question. Why would you guess that? They
Am
have,
I right?
by far. So Detroit Lions have scored 140 points. 100 this year, not last year. Detroit Lions in 4 games have scored 140 points. Kansas City
And they're 1 and 3.
is the second. They have scored right. Well, we'll get to that. Kansas City has the second. They have scored 129 points, and Baltimore is the third. They have scored 119 points. Now, how many points have the Lions had scored against them?
150.
141. They have a difference of 1. They have a -1 differential. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty
I
crazy.
looked at that. Well, I was looking at our division. I was just going through that stuff. But yeah, as far as conferences go, or as far as divisions go, our division seems to be the one to be. And honestly, the one kind of joke would be the AFC West.
Yeah, I know. I'm so happy.
It's insane. It doesn't even make sense to me. I'm baffled by it.
Yeah. No, I'm happy about that.
So that is where we're at right there.
So let the record show I'm 1 for 1 on trivia so far.
You are, yes. We will. All right, we can. Yeah, we'll keep track.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll be all over that. Now, Dallas, Washington. We should take a note. It was 25-10. You had them at. I actually wrote it down. 31-6. I had them at 31-9. You know,
well, that's pretty close.
We should have been able to get. It would have been. We would have been right in there because.
Yeah. That's good. Good job.
So, and we got to take a moment also to discuss the the Washington Commanders unis. What was that? I
I
I,
thought we were playing Army.
I thought they looked like the XFL. Like that was
Yeah,
what
they were terrible.
immediately came to mind was XFL.
I don't mind like these alternative jerseys, but don't do it when you're playing like a long time rival. You know, like
Yeah,
keep those
make it for
jerseys
prime
pure.
time or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but they I and not when I say they look like Army, I'm not saying the Army football team. I'm talking about like the Arrested Development when Buster wins all these prizes and he comes home and his mom's like, "Where did you get all those stuffed animals?" And he's like, "They're awards from Army." That's the Army I'm talking about that
Gotcha.
they look like. They looked or West Virginia. Like they just it was
West
awful. I
Virginia.
hated them.
Oh, they were horrible. I don't like them either. I did talk to people who liked them. They thought they were
Ooh,
uh, actually.
millennials.
So coming up, we're gonna do a separate show this week, focusing more on next week's on this upcoming game. So the guy that's gonna come in, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, because if he's the one, he's the guy that like that.
Guy, he's the guy.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So he works at a brewery,
He
right?
works at a brewery. Yep.
How much had he been drinking when he? Because he had to have been drinking.
He likes the unis. I don't know. I don't know. I thought they were horrible. I don't talk to a lot of people, so that's what I got. So we're gonna try, like I said, we're gonna try and bring on somebody from the opposing team. If not, maybe we'll bring in a special guest to talk about.
Aaron Donald.
He's coming.
We'll try to get Aaron
opposing team
Donald.
a fan. I'll work on that. I'll make some calls, see what I can do. If
He
not,
went to the University.
Bill Wilbert. So
He went to the University of Missouri. Aaron Donald did, and they wore uniforms much like what we just saw from the Seawards. So,
do you know someone that could get us Aaron Donald?
I'll make some calls.
All right, I'm gonna make one. If you can't get him and I can't get him, we'll see Bill Wilbert here. All right. Penalties. I never ever thought I'd say. And maybe you know what? Maybe it was the uniforms. Maybe just maybe those uniforms. Maybe the refs thought that was the Cowboys. I don't know why, but maybe they thought, hey, look, the Cowboys are in new uniforms. Flag them. Dallas had. All right, Dallas had 4 penalties. Washington had 11.
Yep.
Granted, that's not all that were called. Those were all that were accepted. But 4 to 11. I don't know when the last time we had less than 5 was.
Yesterday. Sunday.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was amazed by that. All right, so moving on to the power rankings. It's got to change now, right? We have to have a different.
Every week.
Well, no, I mean, after this week, it seems. Do you feel this year has been a little bit different than any previous year? I feel like I say that every year, but I feel like this year has been a lot different. There's been something different about this year. Am I wrong?
Yeah. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I couldn't identify what it is. It is a little different, but.
Right. So let's listen to your power rankings. I'm interested because you said there was going to be a surprise. I like surprise.
In my power rankings.
Oh, I thought you did.
That was my out of power rankings. But with the power rankings last week, I think I had Jacksonville, Miami, and
Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and Dallas was 3rd.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dallas has now moved to number 2.
Okay.
I mean, they're winning. They have one of the best records. They have the second best record in the league.
I'd argue with you.
Right?
And they have one of the best defenses in the league.
That's right. Kansas City is number 1 after what they did to Tampa Bay, which you had Kansas City in your top 3 last week, and they did everything to prove that they should be there. I mean, it was a dominant performance by them. And I am going to put, even though I don't like this team, I'm going to put them 3rd, and that is the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are number 3.
I don't think they look solid. I don't know why.
No, I don't think so either.
They look like they're just there anymore, which I went back and forth with them. So I went through my whole thing. Go ahead.
I'm leaving the Eagles. Not a chance, man. They haven't played anybody yet. They have one of the weakest schedules in the league.
Played Minnesota. 2-2.
We'll see.
So nobody over 500. But all right, I went with I I put Kansas City at number 1.
Okay.
I moved
Good call.
Philadelphia down. I wait. They did beat somebody that's got an over 500 record. They beat Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, in the rain, with 5 turnovers from Jacksonville's quarterback.
I had a hard time with this because it was really going to depend on last night's game. The Rams, 49ers, and honestly, the 49ers could have been in there, but it was going to be between the Rams and the Cowboys for me for my number 3 spot.
And?
Well, the Rams got beat last night. Cowboys didn't.
What I'm talking about.
Their defense looks too good to me not to be on there. And it's funny because I read other power rankings and I get it. I do, but I don't. They've got 2-2 teams ahead of the Cowboys. And I'm baffled by this because I get it. I'm a bit biased, but at the same time, this defense has done really well.
Yeah.
I can't see why they're not taking a little bit. Though I'm happy because last week I said I wish the Cowboys were underrated and under the radar, and they're kind of there. Nobody's paying attention to them. Dak's coming back, and quite honestly, I don't think people are going to take Dak seriously because right now everyone thinks that Dak should be replaced by Cooper.
Yeah.
So I'm good with that. And then we have the new one, which is you had mentioned. What do we call it? Out of power. False stars, whatever we want to call it. But
out of power. I think it's not the worst team in the league.
No,
it's
it's
a team
definitely
who's driving along and their drivetrain has broken and they're just out of power and they're going bleh,
right.
And they're in free fall.
Yeah. In fact, it shouldn't be the worst team because unless they just got demolished this year,
right?
It shouldn't be the worst team. They should be a team that should be in your close to your top 3 power rankings and fell from
Yeah. So as much as I would like to put a team like the Baltimore Ravens in that, because I just like hating on the Baltimore Ravens, I'm not going to. I think they're going to keep winning games through the regular season. I looked at some other teams. Jacksonville could have been in there, I guess. They just lost 1 game, though. But I am going to put in the Denver Broncos. They are my out-of-power team. People thought that
power this year.
What's that?
When did they have power this year? They haven't had power.
There was a lot of talk about them being a Super Bowl contender. There was talks about them for sure going to the playoffs.
I think they have a post out front for power.
All 4 teams.
This doesn't even count. This is your thing, and it doesn't work. I disagree.
All the AFC West teams going to the
playoffs. They want 1 win.
There was so much talk about them at the beginning
3 weeks ago. That should have been them. No,
the Denver Broncos are out of power.
They didn't have power.
And they may not win a game the rest of the season. That's my bold prediction. The Broncos may not win a game the rest of the season. That
is a shock to anyone right now.
That is free fall.
You called that week 1 or in the first podcast that made.
I would have, but we didn't have that this segment.
Yeah. Oh man. Wow. That's kind of. I'm gonna pick the Super Bowl winner for last year right now. I'm gonna go.
So who's your out-of-power team?
Well, it's obvious, and you just deflated it completely. The Baltimore Ravens. They have had 2 big leads and have dropped. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They were up here in my power rankings, getting close, but they couldn't be in because of their loss. And then this week. That, to me, is what the out of power. They had all kinds of power. They were going uphill. They were better than projected. I don't know which one of us had them out of the playoffs. I think I did. Yeah, I did because I picked New England for some odd reason. But they were going full steam ahead. They looked good. They're scoring points. Their quarterback is, fantasy-wise, doing great. But they've gone nowhere. They have lost their power. They have lost all power, and they lose power right around, I don't know, the second quarter. It just, and it's not even a brownout. It's just a flat out bam. We're out of power. We're done.
Yeah.
Losing.
Yeah. Power. No, I think that's a good pick. To me, they feel more like. To me, they feel more like when you're teaching your kid how to drive a stick shift, and they they're supposed to go to fifth, and somehow they go to third, and it's like that kind of thing. That's what I feel like is going on with the Ravens more than they've completely lost their power and they're just in a free fall. Like shooting to, I wouldn't say the Broncos were going to shoot to the moon, but we'll say they're shooting out of orbit and the power got cut and they're just free falling to the ground and they're going to splat. And I will ride that pony all the way to the end of the season. No more wins for the Denver Broncos.
I don't disagree with you on the no more wins for the Denver Broncos. They may be the worst team.
The worst team. Yeah.
Them. I mean, heck, Seattle should have been, but what the heck?
I know.
They're up there on point.
They're all tied for first.
Huh?
The whole NFC West is tied for first in the NFC West. They're all 2-2.
Oh, are they? Even
all
Denver's 2-2?
Who?
Wait, which you said the AFC West?
NFC
West.
West.
NFC West. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm doing two things. I'm looking up the picture for today's. At least what I think it's going to be.
Okay, so we're talking about the glory hole.
Well, I mean, it's just about time. Yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty close to time. I don't even know how long this thing's been. It looks like 31 minutes, so we're past time. But this is why we're supposed to be doing a separate. But all right, so what do you got?
So I'm going first with the glory hole.
I don't care. You can go first. I'll go first. Doesn't matter to me.
So like I said, it was Cooper Rush, hands down. He had it, won, and then he started throwing touchdowns. Couldn't give it to him, hitting wide open wide receivers. So I decided it can't really go to Cooper Rush. Mike McCarthy, like he didn't really do anything to ruin the game. The punter almost did. And anger caused some anger. And so I was like, that right there has a chance to be our glory hole recipient. And then they showed a picture of the booth with whoever the two announcers are, the tight end from the Carolina Panthers.
Yes.
And the other guy.
Yep.
And I was like, does he refuse to go to hair and makeup? Like, what is going on with this guy?
Keep giving it to the commentators.
He looks like he fell out of the car, rolled around, and then popped up and was like, "I'm ready to do the podcast." That kind of thing. I'm not giving it to the commentators. Okay. I am giving my vote for the Glory Hole Award is to the hair and makeup department for Fox Sports.
So, I was so set on Cooper Rush. I really was. I was set on Cooper Rush because...
Creepily set on Cooper Rush.
What's that?
It was a little creepy how set you were on Cooper Rush.
Yeah, I might have to edit that part out. I was so set on having him out there. And then I started doing the numbers. And when I looked at Tony Pollard's numbers, it is what the award is. I mean, the guy had a long run of 7 yards or 9 yards and ended up with 6. How do you do that? Even with his receptions, 2 of them, he didn't equate to his long rush. Short. So I'm vetoing you, especially since I don't have a picture of the
I'm good with it.
Hairstylist. Tony Pollard is our
glory hole recipient.
Yep.
Yeah.
Glory hole goes
down
to Tony.
I agree 100%. Like
you didn't even name him. I was surprised. I was surprised you didn't name him at all.
No, I actually kind of forgot that he was even in the game. So I honestly forgot he was on the team.
I couldn't give it to coaching this time. I think the coaching, honestly, we've been winning with Cooper Rush. It's hard to give it to coaching at that point, unless we have 43. I don't even remember what game it was where we had all the penalties. Nobody seemed to know what they were doing. That might have been game 1, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was actually. He was our first recipient. So, yeah, that's. Do you want to talk a little bit about the game? We're at 30-some minutes, or do you want to wait and do it at a...
I just want to give a score prediction here because I'm going to give a different one on our next podcast that we do.
All right.
So this one is the more honest one.
Okay.
The other one is going to be a little less honest.
Going to get even with the Rams.
Yeah. As much as it pains me, I think the final score is going to be something like... Huh?
Who's winning?
The Rams.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be like 20-6. and I think it'll be I think there'll be a pick six for the Rams, and there also might be a fumble recovery like deep in the Dallas territory, and then they end up scoring a quick, easy score there. I don't think this has any effect or outcome on the rest of the season. I think that the Cowboys are going to lose 3 more games this year, and this is one of the games that they're going to lose.
I actually am going to disagree with you.
Okay.
Said it. I do believe the Cowboys win. I actually think that defense holds them back. Watching the 49ers last night and watching the Rams fall apart, they've lost another offensive lineman. We've got a solid line. I actually think what's going to be, and it's going to vary. It's going to depend on whether Dak plays or whether Cooper plays. If Cooper plays, I'm going to say we're going to win 17-6.
Okay.
I think we're going to win decent either way. If Dak plays, I'm staying with 6 because I don't know that they're going to get into the end zone. And I'm going to say that we end up with 24 points.
Yeah. No, I think those are good picks. I just really see their defense scoring a touchdown this game. I mean, Cooper Rush should have had multiple touchdowns scored against him already, and I think you can't do this forever.
You can't do it against the Rams.
Right.
Yeah, but all right. So that's where we are. Do you have a seeing stars for the game, or you want to wait until next time?
Let's wait until our next.
All right.
Our next one. And how do we hit our seeing stars, by the way?
What's up?
Did either of us hit our seeing
No,
star?
we were nowhere near. You actually said more sacks than points. We had 2 sacks, and they had 10 points. So not that.
I meant more pressures.
That would have worked actually. And I said 100 yards each running back, and one of them came. I mean, if you add up his rushing and his receiving, but no, neither one of us.
Okay.
So yeah, we were both off. We'll do seeing stars next time, which this one I'll put out now on Tuesday nights. And then our upcoming game I'll do Wednesday morning. So Tuesday night at 7 for this one, Wednesday morning at 10 for the other one. If that works for you, that works for me.
Sounds good.
All right, everyone, thank you very much. If you like what you saw, hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. Have a great day. We'll see you later. I guess we'll see you next Tuesday. No?